investment into Mac as well. You'd want one item plus a BKB or a Blink Dagger to get yourself going there. You're not going to be able to stand in front without that BKB, well, with all the magic damage coming out on TNC side. So there's a lot here that Adroit has to buy time for.
There will be pain. You hurt the ones you love.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy though. Like, even if they are relying on just not bleeding around this laning phase, Ricky is not the strongest laner, and you have potential there with the Lich, especially once Lich hits level 2 with a Frost Shield. So you can just lay the damage on with a Ricky, but that stands at a massive risk. You're probably going to be laning against KP. He's a very tanky hero. He has a lot of lockdown. So if you do commit for trying to find that kill, you could find yourself in a rough situation. Well,
30 seconds to battle.
oh.
You hurt.
Nice early D wards coming out from TNC, taking out that mid ward. So March already shutting out some information from Adroit. That's just gonna make rotations for the well, for I believe the runes much harder for Mac. He's not gonna be aware where he should head to.
The battle begins.
It's not going to be easy for the first 3 levels. It's definitely going to be something Queen of Pain can abuse quite nicely. Even by level 4, you can still kind of draw ahead, but I don't see Mac being bullied out too hard, as long as he doesn't lose too much HP. Just has to play it safe initially, then he can kind of tiptoe around. That's fine.
Money for you.
Definitely. I like the commitment from TNC to try to scout out Boomy. I mean, they got an early ward deep in that jungle to block the camp. Boomy did have a D ward, but immediately Tim's is just looking around that jungle. They don't want to give any space to Adroit, and they are finally starting to punish these greedier pos 4 picks.
First blood.
Anyone could see that it was your time. No, no.
It's not too much synergy there in that lane. I'd say you'd be better off maybe trying to scout out Boomy instead of having Tims do that. You are a Chen, you're gonna be in that jungle anyway. I think that's a better distribution. But Tims is doing a good job. Like, he's not actually doing too bad hunting down Boomy. It's not a free time for Enigma, although this is costing Tims his initial early levels. They've got a nice forward ward to always see where Boomy is, so it's just a constant game of tag there for those two supports. This is really weakening the presence of Bok, though. As a solo clock up against Lycan, there's just not much you can really offer in that lane. You already see Gabby pulling away quite nicely, 18-7 compared to Bok's 12-3. He's not going to be completely shut out of this lane, so you should still find that EXP as the clock. But Gabby is definitely going to reach pretty much free farm status here.
You hurt the ones you love.
Yeah, just a weakness of that as a core just doesn't really manage to do too much. It needs EXP, but it also wants to win that early laning phase, so you have to do a balancing act. In this case, they just don't play that balancing act, leave Bok alone. Definitely. It's just a farming lane, and both sides are going to be happy. I think Armel does have the flexibility of dipping into a lot more, although he doesn't have levels in Blink, but he is much more confident in being far forward.
I'll take that.
Tim's is still... He's halfway through level 1 now. So, progress. They've got wards now from Adroit. They know where Tim's is chasing. It's just kind of funny. So much commitment from TNC. I like that. It's just really sacrificing Rubik. But Boomy hasn't had a freest run. He's still just about to hit tree. So it's not been a good, speedy run for our Enigmas.
You hurt the ones.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They've got the Chen.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The issue here for Adroit is that there's really no lane for our Ricky to be in. He can try to go bot. If you look at Gabby, he's at level 7 on the Lycan, way ahead of everyone else, and that's still not a good matchup for Natsumi. At the very least, he's not going to be stunned out, but the damage potential from our Lycan is way up there now.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant are scanning.
Ooh. Armel.
Blaze here.
Oh no.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Will allow TNC to start applying that pressure on the mid tier 1. With all the creeps they have, with the Lycan around, this should be a lot of damage, although the Fortify is enough to dissuade him. That just allows Gabby to farm with her own jungle. So the Dire jungle being invaded now by TNC, limiting the space of Adroit to farm it.
Invisibility!
Catch KP out. They're trying to go for this kill.
Oh! Dire's turret has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Abby now being chased down by Mac as well. Not gonna go for the commitment. They did get the Dragon Tail off cooldown right then, but they didn't want to give chase. Abby should be fine. He did have Shapeshift, but nice set of kills down bot for Adroit. They are still quite a fair bit behind. 4K behind the 10 minutes in. Gabby now Shapeshift.
Thrift reward clause.
Jackpot.
He's just so far ahead. He's level 10. 10 minutes in. Way further ahead than a lot of the heroes on the side of Adroit are completely mismatched right now in terms of EXP. The only one really close is Mac, and he's at level 8. So that huge deficit is coming into play here. Adroit losing out in their tier 1 mid. No contest. TNC 5k ahead of 10 minutes in. The map is really shrinking fast for Adroit, and they just don't have any way to respond just yet. They're going to need that done a lot of times. There's a lot of pressure on Bach to find these isolated heroes, to get that gap closed, get the damage out, get the control out, because he is really it. That's the best way they have of starting these fights. They might go and commit onto Tim's. They do scout out.
Dire's middle
Another move.
tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
What you see is what gets you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No way they can contest this. They do have the hook shot. If they were aware they could try to go for something, it is going to be a bit too late. That is a free rush by way of TNC. First rush of the game. And they can't deal with 2 lives. Like, give the Aegis to Armel. You already don't have a way of keeping that Queen of Pain in place. Even if you did, probably don't have enough damage to burn her twice over.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Haste! Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
just way too much from TNC, way too big of a lead in terms of EXP and items. 7k advantage, they melt that tier 2 up top. I'm surprised Adroit is still trying to go for those defenses so shoddily. They need to rely on Bach to break up TNC first and then go with a follow-up. They cannot just walk in like that. They can't afford to. It's just easy. I mean, the Ricky has nothing. Doesn't have smoke screen. Doesn't have enough damage to really force anyone down. We saw him try to chase the Rubik earlier on. Very limited effect. It took a while to get that kill. And Adroit needs to get the team fight going. They need Boomy to step up, or at the very least, they need to keep relying on Bach. They can't go in when the Clockwork's not the one committing first. He needs to set the pace for Adroit here. He needs to find the targets they want to isolate and burn out. They can't afford to initiate with anyone else first. They are not set up for it.
You hurt the ones you love.
Rattle them yet!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It's ridiculous. There's just no punishment coming out from Adroit for this lineup. They went with another greedy draft. They have kind of found what they wanted. They've got the EXP. They don't have the items, and they're still waiting for the mech from Boomy. So you're not going to see any sort of plays coming out from him. All he will bring is sustain. We haven't seen the Eidolons really play out in the big push just yet. It's just been a farm fest for Adroit, and TNC are happy to punish that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They save their Lich. They're still going to lose that objective anyway. They're trying to trade with tier 1 up top. Even then, they're shoved out. Oh. No. No. The Chain Frost killed one of the Necro creeps, and the damage killed off CML. The shock, it's just a Chain Frost. He hooked. Oh, man. That's the state of the game for Adroit. They're so far behind that they have to commit Chain Frost for the summons and Hook Shot for the summons. I mean, TNC has maintained that lead, so they haven't widened it. So there's still some way, in some weird way, Adroit is kind of keeping up. Not really. I mean, at the very least, they're not having that lead widen for TNC, so TNC aren't pulling away any more than they were on, which means Adroit does have certain ways of coming back in here. You really need a lot more Natsumi. Take a look at that, Ricky, in terms of net worth. 5.9k, which is great. 6k behind the Queen of Pain, so he's actually number 3. Feels way worse than that relative, though. He still has to finish up with at least that defusal. Even then, I don't think that's going to be enough. TNC, their Aegis does expire, so there might be a little bit more caution from them going into these fights. Maybe they wait out the next Roche before going to the high ground. They could at least find his tier 2 perhaps down mid. Don't know if they're going to be going for the high ground yet. They have to kind of be cautious about the black hole.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, they'll go. 9k ahead, and Adroit is scattered out. Definitely not. Did you see the damage on Gabby when he right-clicks someone? I don't think the mech's gonna give them enough. It'll buy them like a second of extra time, I suppose.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Talked about what Adroit has to do though. They rely on getting the hook shot isolation kill to really bounce back in. When they're expending these hook shots to get their clock out, you're not really gaining anything. You're preventing a death,
Dire's
sure,
bottom tower is under attack.
but you're not finding anything on the map. The only person outside is Boomy. He's the one taking the free laning farm with his Eidolons. And what is he going to build into? He has the mech up, he has a crown up, doesn't have anything queued up. Maybe he goes for a fast blink, but then you have to remember the Rubik is there. Pimps is there to steal that black hole, so it's never going to be safe. It's just a slow whittling away. They're not going to commit the heroes up. Gonna melt it like that. No heroes right clicking.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
Bounty.
That should
Definitely down.
Generation.
They've got the control they need. It's gonna be much easier for them to start sieging onto those racks now. Of course, it does feel like they are just kind of waiting out for another objective. The Roach is gonna be up fairly early, less than 40 seconds away. That is something TNC can look to secure before going to the high ground. While all of this is happening, you do finally see Natsumi going a bit deeper to get some farm. Going does have the defusal up on the rig. I don't think that's gonna be enough. He's saving up for a Battle Fury next. That doesn't really fix any of the issues. Battle of Fury on Ricky is great, we see it a lot, but when you're this far behind, don't think it's just giving you enough.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Adroit at least finds one. They managed to find one kill. That does give them a little bit of an ejection that will dissuade TNC from further action for now. They don't have too long to wait. Did have to trade away their own offlaner for that, so it is a bit of an even get more in the end because it's that far behind. TNC are just free to reset and try again. They did expand the shapeshift there earlier on. Not the longest cooldown. They have control of the map anyway. They can farm up. And the Roche is up, so if they do scout that out, they could just go for that objective. CML. Easy. Drops a sentry though. Doesn't even get an obs out, fortunately, so they don't really have vision from that.
Monster kill!
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle barracks is falling. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Going. Just try that. That was a mauling.
Yeah, they are getting time for their Ricky. They have managed to have Boomy farm into a Guardian Greaves. So a little bit more durability there. They will miss out on this Roche. No way they can contest this one. No vision in the map to see that anyway unless they get the Rocket Flare off. Even then, it is already too late. Second Roche, once more, going the way of TNC. Adroit still making way there.
Radiant are scared. Your sun has fallen to the Radiant. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's not enough with what Adroit is doing here. Good try. They're gonna have to try to defend, not even this set of racks. They have to defend their last set of racks or the tier 4s. And it does feel like Adroit is being pushed back further and further. 15k lead for TNC. Very clinical play coming from them. Just slowly whittling away at Adroit, and the response from Adroit just not strong enough. They won't have the black hole for the next fight. That's going to give a lot more to TNC to play with.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Really different looking team compared to the series yesterday, turning it around.